Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today's video is sponsored by Vette Lights. Vette Lights are the ones that can provide you with these Aventador style taillights, and they also make a set of headlights to go along with it. So be sure to head over to their website and check them out, as they look absolutely phenomenal. And I can tell you just by having these taillights here in person that the quality of them is phenomenal as well. Everything from the wiring to the actual finish itself is top notch. Let's get these things installed and see how they look on the car. All right, so before we begin, let's take a look at some of the tools I'm gonna be using to get this done. We got a 1/4" wrench, a T15 socket, a 3/8 to quarter drive adapter in case I need it, 3/8 ratchet, 3/8 extension, and a 7mm socket. It doesn't have to be 3/8, you can use 1/4" drive as well. I'm also going to be using a pry bar out of the interior pry tool set, and in most cases, in lieu of the ratchet, I'll be using my quarter cable impact. All right, so to get started, begin by grabbing this weather stripping right here, lifting up and pulling forward. All right, doing so will expose T15 screws that are all along the top ridge of this back bumper. All right, so next up, you're gonna wanna remove your taillight bezel. You can do that using one of these pry tools from your interior pry bar kit. To do this, simply just locate an area that it'll fit, one of these gaps down here, and pull away. Once we do that, there's a good chance that it'll just pull out from your rear bumper. Do that on the other side. All right, so when you have your weather stripping removed from up here and your taillight bezel removed from both taillights, you'll want to bust out the T15 Torx bit and begin removing the screws from here and another T15 screw right up inside of there. All right, so next up, you're gonna have 3 7mm screws right down here. Go ahead and remove all 3 of them from both sides. All right, once that is done, go ahead and pull away this spot shield right here. All right, so up next, you have 2 T15 Torx bits that hold in your fender liner right here. Basically, those 2 just secure it to the rear bumper. You could either do this one of 2 ways. You could take off your rear wheel, jack the car up, take off the rear wheel, or you could do this setup right here. T15 Torx bit, 1/4" wrench, and simply just snap them together, and you're gonna actuate it that way, because otherwise I can't even get a ratchet in between mine. All right, so when you're done with all of that, go ahead and begin pulling on the rear bumper. I like to start from one of the fenders of the bumper and go ahead and give it a good tug. All right, pop loose on that side. Let's move ahead on the other side. All right, so doing so will give you access to work down here and go ahead and remove the screws securing the tail lights. All right, so to remove the old tail lights, you're gonna go ahead and remove 4 7mm screws that are holding it in. Remember to disconnect the electrical connector. It's a good idea to go ahead and look at the new taillight assembly to identify where those locations are. You have one here, 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 and here, okay? Go ahead and remove those. Again, it's a 7mm socket. All right, so when you got the old taillight removed, reverse the process and put the new taillight in. All right, so now is the time during the install that you need to decide, do you want your taillights to flash like this, or do you want them to be sequenced like this? Personally, I think any one of them looks great. I mean, these taillights, actually, they look really, really good when they're sat in there. I can't wait to get the reverse light and the bezel put in. All right, so the taillight is installed. Again, 4 7mm screws, it is all that is holding that thing in there. After that, you have 1 electrical connector. If you want the sequence taillights where it goes 1, 2, 3, go ahead and pull the 1-wire plug. If you want it to where it all flashes at one time, go ahead and leave it connected. After you get all that done, go ahead and plug in your reverse light and the taillight bezel and just kind of set it in place for now. Don't permanently fix it. All right, so when both taillights are in, everything is tightened down, you got the sequencing that you want out of them, go ahead and start trying to work the back of the rear bumper on. This is probably the most aggravating part about the whole thing. Just be patient with it. Ensure that all of the orange clips, there's 3 of them on either side, the orange clips are all facing the right direction, and just work with it, be patient. All right, so before you go screwing this thing down, you're gonna wanna make sure that all of these black plastic clips are up top and not underneath where they tend to wanna go whenever you're putting the rear bumper back on. All right, so next up, go ahead and put the 2 T15 screws that held in the fender liner to the rear bumper. After that, reinstall the splash guard, and then your 3 7mm screws that go on the bottom of the bumper down here. All right guys, so there you have it, the Aventador style taillights for the C7 Corvette. You can get these from Vette Lights. Head over to their website, check them out today, and check out some of their other products too, as they do have a good lineup.